This is part of an ongoing series of things that didn't quite make it into my PhD dissertation about board games. This is How Board Gamers Like to Game, Part 1. I'm Dr. Tanya Pobeda. I conducted a survey in late 2020 of 320 avid board game participants who board game on a self-reported basis 70.7% of the time, at least once a week. And these avid board gamers weighed in on issues of representation. What was also really interesting about the participants of my PhD dissertation survey is many of them, the majority of my sample, had been board gaming for over 11 years or more. I asked these hundreds of survey participants what they preferred. Do they mostly prefer cooperative versus competitive, or did they like both equally? What I found was interesting. 28.8% preferred competitive games, 18.4% preferred cooperative, and I like co-op and competitive equally was 52.8%, so the majority of those surveyed. I asked these hundreds of board game aficionados what types of games do they most frequently play. By far the biggest chunk was the strategy category at 19.7%, but you can see it's a really diverse mix. The second biggest chunk was worker placement at 14.9%. Then it was followed by resource management at 12.9%. And again, there's just tons of diversity here. Abstract games at 3.4%, roll and move 1.5%, route building at 3%, set collecting 4.6%, war games at 3.8%, and role-playing at 10.6%. So really fascinating diversity in the games they play most frequently. I also wanted to find out with whom do these board gamers play. Posing the statement and asking them to assess it, before the global pandemic, I usually played board games with friends and or family. Agree here is 32.5%, and strongly agree is 59.1%. So the vast majority tend to play their board games with friends or family, rather than at big public events with strangers. The one thing that I can do to make board gaming a more inclusive space is to give you access to all of my research. So in this case, I've decided to publish my research to Amazon Kindle. It's entitled, I Didn't See Anyone Who Looked Like Me, Gender and Racial Representation in Board Gaming. And I'm doing this because my university library has struggled to publish my dissertation. I've waited patiently for the last year and a half. They have not posted it yet, and I want you to have access to it. And the idea here is it is available for purchase at $35 Canadian, which is roughly $25 American, and it's available for download as an ebook. There's a ton in there around play and purchase decision making, as well as representation issues more broadly in the hobby, and how we can make spaces more inclusive. So I do invite you to check that out. If only one person purchases it, that's $12 more than I would have gotten for academic publishing, so I do invite you to check it out.